Hello and welcome to the Pirate Party Australia webcast, dedicated to the discussion of freedom of information and culture, government transparency and civil liberties in the internet age. I'm Sam Kearns and this is episode number 7 for Sunday, 3rd of February 2013. With our second episode for this new season of the Pirate Party Australia webcast. I'm doing something a little different this year in case you didn't hear it from last time, in that we're doing a live show. It'll be out every Sunday night, hopefully at or near 9 o'clock. And I'm hoping to get a bit of an audience going with some live feedback in IRC, in our main internet relay chat channel at #PPAU. So if you're in the channel, join the IRC channel before 9 o'clock and I'll post the link to the feed. I'm using Google Hangouts on air, which means that the feed is available on YouTube. And also means that after the show's finished and recorded, I'll also have video posted on YouTube as well as the usual audio into the podcast feed. Now, first bit of news is some errata from the show last week. A couple of people have asked, what happened to episode 5? Now, there's a bit of a funny story about that, because last year, I did a few shows around the middle of the year. I did the first 4 shows, and I actually did record a 5th show. And this is where things got a little bit confusing for me, because I did record a 5th show. It's all recorded. It's in the can. It was pretty much finished, but I never released it. So it's sitting on my hard drive. And big apologies actually to David Campbell, who was the interview subject for that show, because he took the time to record an interview for me, and it never went out. And part of the reason why it never went out is because the audio quality on the interview was actually pretty bad. I was experimenting that night with using Mumble, and the quality was really low, and there was a lot of of artifacting, like compression artifacting in the audio, and I spent quite a bit of time with my audio tools trying to clean it up, but I was never terribly happy with it, which was probably part of the reason why it just kind of went in the too hard basket. But anyway, when I came to actually do the show last week, I thought, what show number is this? Yeah, this is the 6th show I've made, so this will be episode 6. Forgetting, of course, that episode 5 was never actually released to the feed. So maybe that can be the special secret special edition episode, which if you get a copy, you might be able to sell it for big bucks. Maybe not. Anyway, moving on. This week in Pirate Party Australia news, we had a Policy Development Committee met on Monday night to finish the creation of the first round of working groups to work on policies that we think that the Pirate Party should have a look at. Remember, the Policy Development Committee is tasked with researching and developing drafts of policy. And everybody is welcome to join in, to come and have a look. We've got a page up on the wiki, which lists all of the working groups that are currently that have recently been created and are now in operation to create policy on a whole range of different topics. There will be meetings of these working groups, and you're welcome to attend. If you want to get involved, all you have to do is send an email to policydev@pirateparty.org.au, and we'll be more than happy to put you in the loop. We do a lot of things via email, and we also have meetings on IRC. And if you email us, we'll let you know when those meetings are. We're intending for them also to be in a Google Calendar and up on the wiki, and we'll also be making announcements to the general mailing list too, to try to encourage people to get involved. So that was Monday night that the Policy Development Committee met. We actually have, that was the continuation of the meeting from the previous Wednesday, and we managed to get all those working groups set up. On Tuesday, we had our Pirate Party General Members Meeting, which is a meeting where everyone's invited just to show up. You can put anything on the agenda that you like. This is the best place to come if you're a member who just wants to see what's going on. Not sure where to put your finger in first. Probably the best thing to do is to come to a general meeting they're on every second Tuesday night, and there was one last Tuesday, so there won't be another one until Tuesday week. Now these things are all on the website. On the right hand side there's a list of events for what's coming up, so you can always have a look there to see when these meetings are on. On Wednesday night this week we had our National Council meeting, which is always on the night following the general meeting. So it's Wednesday night fortnightly. There was one last Wednesday, and there'll be one Wednesday week. Now, meetings coming up this week, we have the Policy Development Committee working groups have several meetings on the calendar already. We have the Solar Energy Working Group meeting on Monday night at 7 o'clock. The meeting will be in IRC, and the details, it's in the hash PPAU-PDC channel, but the details on how to log into that channel will be in the show notes, so have a look there. In the same place, on the same night, we also have the Coal Seam Gas Working Group at 8 o'clock. And then next week, then on the Wednesday of this week, we have the PDC General Meeting, when all the working groups will be reporting in on their progress with the draft, the policies that they are drafting. So that's what happened in the Pirate Party this week. Moving on to some international news. Now, probably the most interesting news to me this week is that at a meeting in Geneva of the World Trade Organization, the World Trade Organization authorized Antigua's request to suspend US copyrights. Now, they've done this so that the Antiguan government can now proceed with its plan to offer an official government-endorsed pirate download site for Antiguan citizens. Now, they're doing this in response to aggressive efforts by the US to shut down Antigua's gambling industry, which accounts for a pretty significant portion of their economy and has thus devastated their country. So, very interesting reaction by the Antiguan government, and very interesting from my point of view that the World Trade Organization have authorized, given Antigua their blessing for them to basically suspend respecting of US copyrights. And they plan, initial plans are that they'll put up movies and TV shows and software available for download. So the Antiguan government is officially hosting these things for its citizens. The US have made a few threats and blusters in response, but they seem quite determined to go ahead. And it's very interesting, it's interesting from my perspective in that, the pirate movement, it's sort of a bit of a dream of ours that one day that we might be able to achieve this sort of thing. And Antigua are out there doing it already. They've set a precedent. Now, it actually has nothing to do, the reasons they're doing it have very little to do with the reasons that the Pirate Party might put forward. But it's an interesting precedent nonetheless, in my opinion. Now, from Ars Technica, we have some other interesting news. This is a fantastic Streisand effect story, in my opinion, in that you may have heard the Consumer Electronics Show was on recently, and CNET.com, well-known tech news and blogging site, usually they are the official outlet to award the CES Best in Show awards. So, CNET do a lot of reviews and reporting on CES, and at the end of the show, they are officially endorsed to provide the CES Best in Show award. Now, this year, they awarded it to the Dish Hopper, which is a personal video recorder device that records live TV, and also, sorry, I'm getting comments in the IRC here. Oh, never mind about that. Anyway, as I was saying, the Dish Hopper, it's a PVR device, and it also does ad skipping. Now, CBS, who is CNET's parent company, are actually in litigation with Dish over the Hopper device. And so what happened is, after CNET announced the Best in Show award, CBS then had their lawyers demand that CNET retract that award. And unfortunately, CNET apparently had to do it, and they actually disawarded, retracted the award from the Dish Hopper and awarded it to another product. And then, there was a huge furor over it, and, a CNET, senior staffer, published, a very angry post about it and actually quit and left CNET because, they were not willing to put up with that, with such little editorial control that the parent company could come in and just tell them to to disaward the CES Best in Show. But anyway, the award stood for a little while to this other product. But now the latest news this week is that the Consumer Electronics Association has disendorsed CNET from choosing the official CES Best in Show award, and they have in fact re-awarded the Best in Show to the Dish Hopper. So, huge, as I was saying, amazing Streisand effect. The Dish Hopper has got amazing global exposure because of this huge stoush, and I'd personally like to applaud the Consumer Electronics Association for taking the stance that they did, and CNET as well. I mean, CNET are really the victim here, which is quite unfortunate for them that CBS has treated them in this way. But it really makes you wonder, what else did CBS think was going to happen? So, amazing story. I just found that one very interesting. Anyway, another one. Here's another international story. From Tech Dirt, we have news that the International Olympic Committee has trademarked the number 2014. Now, this is not new, actually. They did this back in 2005. The IOC took out a very broad trademark on the number 2014, which is apparently it's a minor Olympic year. It's not even a major Olympic, a year for the the headlining Olympics, but just in the in recent Olympic Games, we've seen just how severe the International Olympic Committee can be as trademark bullies. And taking even during the last Olympics, we heard stories of them sending cease and desist letters to bakeries in the Olympic city who were making bread arranged like the Olympic rings. And there's all sorts of crazy stories. You can look them up if you go and look about the way that the International Olympic Committee basically comes in with the jackboots and just completely stomps all over anyone who is not, an officially endorsed, carrier of Olympic trademarks. Now, they've certainly covered their bases with this trademark too. They've trademarked it in all 45 of the possible registration classes. And I'll quickly run down a few. So, they have the trademark 2014 for anything relating to chemicals, pharmaceuticals, metals, machines, tools, scientific equipment, surgical instruments, tobacco, insurance, conferences, musical instruments, furniture, computer programs, restaurant services. The list goes on and on. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but every possible class of trademark, they've got it. And it's interesting to see what kind of trademark overreach shenanigans they're going to get up to in 2014. And that's my show for tonight. I do intend for them to be a bit longer in future, but I've been very busy this weekend, and I didn't have technical issues before the show, and I didn't have time to spend as much research as I wanted to. But that's about it. The last thing I'd like to say is that we have a Sydney meetup that I'd like to advertise. The Sydney meetup happens usually on the last Saturday of the month at the Paragon Hotel in Circular Quay. It's right across the road from the station. And this month it's on February the 23rd, and it usually goes from lunchtime until everybody's sick of it, which is usually around 4:30 in the afternoon. So lunchtime, Saturday, February 23rd, the Sydney meetup at the Paragon at Circular Quay. And that brings our show to the end. And now I'll cue the final music. And hope to see you all next week. And the Pirate Party Australia webcast, including all music, is written, recorded and produced by Sam Kearns for Pirate Party Australia and is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Share Alike 3.0 unported license. Thanks for listening.